Here at the worst ballpark in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays played host to the Kansas City Royals, and on the mound for the Rays was a familiar face, Jesse Hahn, the right-hander on the hill for them, making the 22nd start of his season. And in the top half of the first inning, Vince Falvey, playing first base in the day, goes right back up the middle with a single, so he's on first base, and then he tries to take a lead off. They try to pick him off. He gets back in time, and then they try a pitch out. He dives back, and somehow while diving back, he hurts himself. He had to come out of the game, and Audrey Perez would pinch run and also take over at first base. So Perez at first, and then Jorge Soler hits a hard hit ball in the ground down the third base line. Duffy makes the diving stop, but he has no play. So first and second, one out. Pitch gets away from Ramos, the catcher. Runners move up to second and third now with one out. And Jorge Bonifacio hits a ball into right field as it gets under the glove of Brendan McKay. It's going to score 2 runs, and it's now a 2-0 Royals lead. Mark Leiter getting a spot start to see if he's starter material here for the Royals. The man out of Toms River North High School in New Jersey. Bottom half of the first, he strikes out Brendan McKay. Bottom half of the second, Dylan Cozens, former Phillies farmhand, just like Mark Leiter Jr., he also goes down swinging. How about David Fletcher? He goes down on a breaking ball. And we move things on to the bottom of the third now. We're 2 outs, and Spangenberg's going to pop things up weakly into the infield. Semion's there to put that one away. Top half of the fourth, and Jesse Hahn is plunking batters. Hits Dozier right in the thigh. He takes his base. Khalil Lee then grounds into what looks like an inning-ending ground ball, but instead it pulls McKay off the bag, and it's going to be first and second with 2 outs. Torres then takes a pitch to the thigh as well. Bases loaded for Mabrys Valoria, and he continues to rake in the second half of the season. A much improved second half hitter is Mabrys Valoria as he hits a grand slam. His 12th home run of the season makes it a 6-0 Royals lead. Then we move things on to the bottom half of the fourth, where Brendan McKay is going to hits what looks like a single, but Brett Phillips misses it in center field. It's going to get to the wall, and McKay has himself into third base with 1 out, and the next batter up would be Wilson Ramos, as he would pop one up into right field. Khalil Lee is there to put it away, but McKay would tag up the score to make it a 6-1 game as Tampa finally gets on the board. Move things on to the bottom half of the fifth. Joshua Lowe, the center fielder, goes down swinging, and then later on in the inning, Malik Smith pops things up into the infield. Semion's there to put that one away for the final out. Jesus Castillo came on in the bottom half of the sixth for the Kansas City Royals, and he strikes out Matt Duffy for the second out, and then for the third out later in the inning gets Wilson Ramos to pop up into the infield. Audrey Perez puts it away, and that's the final out of the inning. Top half of the seventh, and Audrey Perez gets his bat into things as he sends the ball over the left field fence for a solo shot, just barely scrapes the wall. And Perez has himself a solo shot to make it a 7-1 Royals lead. They were not done in the seventh inning, though, as later on, runner on first, 2 outs, and Bonifacio is hitting a ball off of the left center field wall. It's going to ricochet over to the center fielder. Soler's going to score from first base. It's an RBI double for Bonifacio. 8-1 is the score. Andrew Edwards was on for the bottom of the eighth. Second and third, 2 outs. Brendan McKay is going to hit one down the right field line off of the wall. Lee kind of misplays it, and his throw would have probably gotten McKay if Semion did not cut it off, and 2 runs come in, but it is a little bit too late as it's an 8-3 game now, and in the bottom of the ninth, Torres gets a line out. Bonifacio putting some flair on it with a sliding catch for the final out of this game, as the Kansas City Royals come with victory here over the Tampa Bay Rays. Mark Leiter Jr. gets his first win of the season in his first start of the season with the Royals. Kansas City improves to 78-71, while the Rays drop to 64-84. Jorge Bonifacio got player of the game honors. He was 3 for 4 at the dish with 2 doubles and 3 runs driven in. Mabrys Valoria's only hit was the grand slam. Audrey Perez had a solo shot. Jorge Soler is 2 for 4. Leiter gets the win. Hahn gets the loss. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of Kansas City Royals Baseball. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Yippee-yay, there'll be no wedding bells for today. got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle,
Jingle jangle.
as I go riding merrily